Hello everyone, it's Cry. In today's video, I'm going to show a decent amount of lines on mostly every single map, besides some of them, of course. I got a request for this by somebody, and I thought it would be a good idea, let some people know some different lines, and, the newer players, if anybody's new here, so show you some different things to do, instead of just like Red Rock 24/7. So, yeah man, let's get into it. Alright, so we're not gonna do parking A first, because to be honest, I don't really do parking A, and there's not too many lines. I mean, there is, but like, I don't know. I just personally don't play it. So we're gonna go into Navaro Base A. Alright, so once you're here, from the very start, the first line we're gonna be doing is you're gonna drive forward, and you're gonna follow me. Alright, so once you're here, you should be back here by these planes and these crates, and this is the first line. So this is a very short and simple line, but it is also very good. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so this line, it's again very simple and pretty short, but the thing about it is it takes a lot of throttle control and steering control, and you kind of got to know what you're doing, but it is very fun once you get it down. So I would recommend this for anyone from like a decent level. If you know how to throttle control and kind of control your car decently, this track is pretty fun. But the next one we're gonna be doing is gonna be in the same area, so it's gonna be kind of like the same concept, but there's some other things to go into it. So yeah, let's get into it. So the next one, we're gonna be staying in the same spot. So yeah, let's get into that. Now for this line is definitely a lot more complicated. I would recommend this if you are not very good. Definitely stay away from this. This one is pretty tricky, especially on the part where you have to go through the little warehouse little looking thing. That part's pretty tricky, and then the long entry, especially this one up here, this one right here where you have to take it wide, and then you have to come here, and then you have to slow down over here. It's a little tricky, but you know, like with everyone, you can feel free to try it. It is a little bit harder though, but good for trains. And yeah. Alright, so for the last and final one on this map, what we're gonna do is at the very start, again, we're gonna drive forward and you're just gonna follow me. It's pretty simple. You literally just drive forward and then you take a left and you're right here. Again, this one is a little bit more tricky, so if you're not very good, you might want to stay away from this one, but like I said, anybody is welcome to try these. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so that's the line. Again, this one is a more tricky one, kind of complex, a lot of throttle control, and you really have to know what you're doing. But this one isn't the greatest for trains. I would recommend at least, you know, maybe 2 people, 3 people, but like you can get a train on it. You just have to be very good. So yeah, that's the line, and that's pretty much all I have for Navaro Base. There are other lines, don't get me wrong. These are just the main ones that I'm showing that I feel like, you know, a lot of people know or want to run. So yeah, let's move on to the next map. Alright, so moving on to Castle Road. This map doesn't really get played a lot, but if you do want to play it, I will show you a quick line here. This one isn't too hard. It's fairly simple, so let's get right into it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're literally just going to turn around from the very start, just right here, and you're going to take a right. And yeah, we'll get right into it. Alright, so that is the line. The only part I would say I don't like about this is, for one, it's on snow and it's really slidey. For two, this entry here going down and the one all the way in the other side, kind of annoying and pretty irritating. So this line isn't too hard. It's just more like kind of frustrating on these entries. But you know, you can always throw a reverse entry here, do something fun. Yeah, I would recommend, if you're, you know, maybe like 200 hours into the game, you can probably do this. It's not too hard, I would just say. It just has some flaws that are kind of irritating. But yeah, let's move on to the next map, boys. Alright, so moving on to Springstone, the first line is pretty much the whole track. So you just, from spawn, you drive straight and you follow the path. It's pretty simple. It's what everyone does. And the other version is you just do it opposite. Yeah, so I'm gonna be showing you guys another line. This is one that I do, and I know a lot of people do as well. So let's get into it. So first, you're gonna drive forward and take a right and just follow me. Alright, so that's the line. It's this one is very easy. I would say this one is pretty fun and super simple. You can get really big trains on here, do some cool jumps, especially obviously like I said on the jump part. There's not too much hard stuff going on about this, other than maybe some of the fast parts and some of the parts we need to slow down. But that's about it. I would recommend, if you're really any skill level, if you're at least kind of decent, this should be fun for you. Yeah, this is a pretty fun line. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so again, from the start, what you're gonna do is you're gonna drive forward and take a right and then just follow me. Alright, so the line is gonna be starting right here. Alright, so that's the line. Basically, you do that and then you just keep repeating what I just showed. This one is also very simple. It's pretty fun as well. Again, like with the last one, there's not too much hard parts to do. Maybe the jump and just trying to connect it all, I guess. But yeah, this one's pretty fun. I actually really do like this one. I like driving this one, doing the jump, especially with a lot of people. It's pretty fun. So yeah, that's mainly all I have for Springstone. So let's move on to the next map, boys. Alright, so on to Milton Drive. The line we're going to be doing is kind of outside the map, but you can get here if you're on console and on PC. So what you're going to do is first turn around and then you're going to follow me. Alright, so once you get here, then you're just gonna go over here, slow down, and then you just take a right, and then you go right through these barriers, and boom, you're outside the map. So this is the line we're gonna be doing. Alright, once you get outside the map, now you're just gonna follow me. Alright, so that's the line. This one is definitely a little bit more complicated. I even forgot this line at first trying to record this. So yeah, this one, I don't know where I would put this in skill range, to be honest. It's pretty hard, but also easy if you know what you're doing. So I would say you can try this, obviously, like with any of these, but it is a little harder. So let's get into the next map, boys. Alright, so on to Kami Road. What you're gonna do for this line is you're first just gonna follow the path all the way down. So yeah, let's get there. Now once you get down here, what you're gonna do is you're going to follow this path right here. So this is the quote-unquote start of the line, I guess, but yeah, just here we go, let's get into it. Alright, so that is the line. This one is very OG. It has been a thing for a while. Same with some of these lines, some not. But yeah, this one's been around for a while. This one's pretty fun. It's pretty easy. It's super easy, actually. Only part that I would say is hard is maybe some of these slowdowns, like up here, in this little section, and maybe this like long entry. About it. But this one is fun. I'd recommend trying it. Alright, on the LA block. There's a few lines here. There's a good amount of them, but I'm only gonna be showing 3 of them. So yeah, let's get into them right now. So first thing, obviously, like I fully said, follow me. Alright, once you get here, this is the start of the line, so we will be starting now. This is my line, actually, so let's get into it. Alright, so that's my line. Pretty simple. I feel like it's pretty unique because you go on the bridge and there's not a lot of lines in this section that really go on the bridge. But yeah, this one's pretty fun. I like this one. Obviously I made it a while back and I still run it to this day. Super fun. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So again, follow me. Alright, so for this line, we're gonna be starting right about here, and it's in this little train track section, this train station area. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so that is the line. This one is very simple. It's basically just a figure eight. I would say this one is actually very easy, and this one is really good for trains. You know, it's good for everybody keeping up, and you know, if you have a good lead and good chasers, good players, this will be pretty fun. So yeah, again, it's very simple, not much to it, just a figure eight going all the way around, and yeah, so that's basically it. So let's get into this next one, boys. Alright, so for this one, you're going to need to either have fly mod on PC, or you're going to need a friend on fly mod to fly you out, or you're going to do this, which is what we're going to be doing now. So yeah, you want to start back here, and you want to just get a whole bunch of speed. We're going to be getting outside the map. So once you get over here, you want to go wide here, and then you're going to want to angle yourself this way, and then you're going to go all the way over here. And once you reach outside the map, then you're gonna follow this, and you're gonna go this way. Alright, so once you get up here, the line is not a loop, it just goes, you do the line and then you come right back. So you can't keep looping it, but yeah, still, it's a pretty fun line, pretty simple. So yeah, show you guys right now. Alright, that is all the lines on LA block. This one, again, very simple. I like it. It's not too hard, but you know, it's a decent line, right? So yeah, that's all we have for LA block. Let's move on to the next map. All right, so on to St. Petersburg now. Again, like I've always said, follow me and I'll show you the line. All right, so here we go. This is the little intersection spot. So let's get into it. Alright, so that's the line. It's a loop, so where you see me stopped right here, you basically just repeat the same thing and you keep going all the way around. This one's also pretty simple. It's a lot faster of a line though. You really gotta go faster. But other than that, it's pretty simple. It's good for trains as well, because there's a lot of wide turns, so really good for trains. Yeah, there are more lines on this map. I just personally don't know them, so this is all we're gonna be doing for St. Petersburg. I wish I knew the other ones off the top of my head and I would show them, but I don't. So we're gonna move on to the next map. All right, so for Red Ring, I'm not really gonna be showing the line because it's pretty simple, but basically you want to go right here. All right, so follow the main track forward, and then you're just gonna follow the main track. So you're gonna go over here, and you're gonna go over here, and then you're gonna keep following it just like this, and then you're gonna loop it, and you can do whatever. I'm not gonna show that because it's pretty simple, but I just wanted to show this. So yeah, that's the line. All right, I'm gonna be skipping Mandela Park because I don't really know any lines here, and the map really isn't that great. And same with Winter Red Ring because it's basically Red Ring. Red Rock, I'm skipping this as well because everybody knows the lines, the main line and the reverse line, and then UFO. So yeah, I'm not gonna be showing that, but yeah, on to East Touge. All right, so there's not too many lines that are unique on this map, but there's one that I will show. So yeah, again, you're gonna, from the start, you're gonna come over here and you're gonna basically do the line. So yeah, I'll show you that right now. Alright, so that's the line. This one's pretty simple. It's a little bit more tricky. It's kind of more slow paced, and it's very short, so there's not too much to go on. But I will be honest, East Touge does not have a lot of lines. Okay, you can't really do much other than some of the other parts. and I'll show you one that you can kind of loop. So over here, what you can do is basically you can drive this and then you can keep looping this around. So you can keep coming over here and then you can keep looping all the way from here, and then you can go over here and then loop all the way up around, all the way back down, and you can keep doing that as like one line, right? Same thing with this, I guess. So you can go over here and then you can go over here, follow this, and then you can try to slow down, come around, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I have. And then, you know, obviously the main line, but yeah, that's mainly all I have for East Coast, guys. So let's move on to the next one. All right, on to West Coast. I'm gonna be showing 2 lines, so let's get into this. Alright, that's the first line. This one's pretty simple. This is the one I run basically every time I'm playing this map. The next one that you can do is basically the same thing, except there's one little twist. So yeah, when you start this entry, you're gonna go here and then you're gonna come around here, but this time you want to slow down a little bit more and you want to take a left, and yeah, we'll get into that. Alright, so those are the 2 lines. Now there's one other one, but basically what you do is you pretty much, instead of doing this little loop, when you do the first line that I showed, when you're coming off of this entry, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come over here, and then instead of turning, you're just going to turn this way. Which in that case, it's a little bit more tricky. That's why this line is a little bit more smooth, because you can really flow it out easier. But yeah, you can also do this one too, where you go here and then you go here and then you go right back around, back to the other line. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I have for West Coast. Let's get into the next one. All right, so on for Atron, I have 3 lines I'm gonna show. So this first one is going to be a very simple and short one. So yeah, let's get into it. So you want to start over here. Alright, so that's the first line. This one's very simple, very short. I wouldn't say too much about this. Other than this entry right here, it's pretty tricky, and maybe this one over here. But yeah, this one's pretty nice. Super simple though. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is pretty much this one right here, except with a little twist going over that way. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so this one again, it's pretty simple, but it's also very fun. I like this. It's good for trains, and yeah, it's a good line, good line. So yeah, we're gonna move on to my next line. Alright, yeah, so that's the line. This one is definitely a little bit more tricky, especially on this part right over here where you see my camera. This one you gotta really slow down. It's not too hard though. And this one over here, you know, a little bit trickier. But I like this one because there's more to the line. It's a little bit longer, and yeah, this one's pretty fun as well. If you're pretty good, you'll like this one. And yeah, that's all I have for Atron boys. So we're gonna move on to the last map, which is Pacific Hills. Alright, so I was mistaken. We have another map, End Ring, but I promise you I will not be playing this. Or do I have a line on this? There is a line, but I'm not going to be showing it because it's, I mean, I never play this map. So yeah, Pacific Hills. Alright, so for this map, we're going to be doing the only line outside of the map. I do not know any lines inside of the map. So yeah, pretty much you just want to get to the roundabout and then follow me. Alright, so once you're here, mainly what you're gonna do is you can start and get to the top. Alright, so once you're at the top, this is basically the start of the line. So it doesn't loop, it just you can see what I mean. So just come down here and yeah. Alright, so that's the line. I wish there was more lines outside of the map. I mean, there is probably, but to be honest, I just don't really know, and I'm not going to make one. So yeah, and same with like inside the map. The map is just really not good for tandems, to be honest. So yeah, that is all I have today, boys. This took me a while to make. I probably missed some lines, and you know, it's okay. Like I said, I just can't remember some of them off the top of my head. These are the ones that I do know off the top of my head, and the ones that I do drive. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm always down to answer. I'll always be, you know, listening. So yeah, if you could drop a like for me, boys, be much appreciated. It took me a hot minute, man. I've been recording for an hour, boys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys. Peace out. Deuces.